Hey guys, welcome back to the Modest Mushroom. Today I'm going to be making bakery lemon rolls with cream cheese icing. These turned out so fluffy and delicious, and they were huge. My brother and I both ended up making the same thing, so at the end I'll share his pictures as well. Go ahead and leave me a comment down below and let me know which one you think looks better. And without any further ado, let's get baking. So to begin, I have 1 1/4 cup of warm milk in the bowl here, and I'm going to add 2 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast and a teaspoon of white sugar. And then we'll mix that all together and let it sit for about 10 minutes until the yeast has come back a little bit, and then we will get started on the rest of the rolls. After about 10 minutes, your yeast mixture should look something like this with a nice foam layer on top. And now that that's done, we can start prepping the dry ingredients. I have 4 3 cups of all-purpose flour in the bowl, and to that I'm going to add 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt and 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And then I'm just going to whisk that together. Now that all of the dry ingredients are best friends with each other, I'm going to add in some of the wet ingredients. So I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of melted unsalted butter, 2 whisked eggs, a 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla, and 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. Once we have that all mixed together and it looks more like sand, we're going to switch to a dough hook, and now we can add in our yeast and milk mixture. Once the dough comes together in the bowl a little bit, I'm going to put it out on the counter and knead it for about 5 minutes before setting it in the bowl. And as you can see, I'm actually smelling the dough here because it smells so good from the lemon zest that we put in there. Now that we're all done with the dough, we're going to set it aside and let it rise for like an hour to an hour and a half. So while that's doing its thing, we're going to get the lemon filling ready. So for this, we need 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, very softened, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of white sugar, 2 tablespoons of lemon zest, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So you don't want to make the mistake I did here and melt the butter, because then you're going to end up with a mess, and I actually ended up having to add more brown sugar to it. So just make sure that it's very soft. I would leave it out for a couple hours before you bake this if you're going to make it, but that would be my only tip for the filling. Once we're all done getting the filling ready, we're just going to set that aside for now, and then it's time to check on our dough. Once we check on our dough and we see that it's doubled in size like this, I'm going to punch down in the middle of it to release the air that's trapped inside, and then we will sprinkle some flour on the counter and start to roll it out. In the recipe it says to roll out your dough to about an 18 by 12 inch rectangle, but I just did my best to get it to look like a rectangle, and I got it about as wide as I could. Once we get this rolled out into a rectangle, I'm going to put on the lemon filling and then we can roll it up. Now that it's all rolled up, I'm going to cut it into slices and put it in a greased 9x13 casserole dish. And I'm going to pour just a little bit of heavy whipping cream in between each roll. And then we'll cover it with saran wrap and let it rise for about half an hour to another hour. Once the rolls are done rising, I'm going to bake them in my oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. Now that the rolls are baking, we're going to start on the lemon cream cheese frosting. So I have 1/4 cup of softened butter in the mixer, and I'm going to mix that by itself for a minute. Then I'll start adding 4 ounces of cold cream cheese into it. Now that those are mixed together well, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sifted powdered sugar, as well as half a tablespoon of lemon zest and half a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. Once the rolls have cooled off for about 5 to 10 minutes, then we can put on the frosting and make sure to serve immediately. I would give this recipe like a 10 out of 10. I think this is honestly one of the best things that I've ever made. It was so good. And if you guys are interested in making this recipe, I'll make sure to link it in the description. And here are my brother's rolls. Don't forget to comment down below whether you like A or B better. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.